Yo, 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 what is up? What is up? It is me, it's Keen. We're back in the building with another line in the sands. I'm covered. I got my guys tonight. It's not just me and Brett tonight. We have some of our regulars here. Cool, what's going on, man?
What up? What up?
We got underneath cool. We got Chase from CR Media. What's going on? CR Media. I'm sorry. I can't read it. I got my glasses on. What's going on, Chase?
Back again.
Ace is
Oh
back.
Lord. And we got Omas in the background. And we got Brett. What's going on?
Just here to represent all the real Homo sapiens today.
Oh boy. All right, well, let's get into the nitty gritty of things here.
Y'all know those jokes that go around online and you're just like you see it and you're just like man, that's just not funny. Like I don't know why people think that's funny. That's Brett tonight. Brett's that joke, that Homo sapien stuff. I don't know who thinks that's funny. That's weird.
Oh, it's like your corny dad joke.
That's right.
But you don't get down to the nitty gritty of things. Last night on Raw, Triple H did break some news. We got a new championship belt, and for those of y'all who have not seen this ugly looking thing, I'm going to show you what it is. And excuse my child in the background; he's yelling because he's playing the game. So if y'all hear yelling, it ain't me. This ugly looking thing right here. This is your new heavyweight championship. I guess that's going to go on whatever show is going to be drafted. May 27th is going to be Clash of Champions, and we're going to crown a new champion. So they're going to keep the belts on Roman. So whatever he goes on SmackDown or Raw, whatever, the draft is Friday. And then carry over into Monday. Going around, thoughts on this belt? Cool. What do you think?
So I'm gonna be in the minority here. I actually like the new belt. It's exactly what WWE wants to do. It reminds you of like a UFC belt, i.e., they were bought by the company that owns the UFC, right? You got the logo smack dab in it. But if you look here, right, if you just take a big globe and a W and slap it in the middle, that's the same plate. And then change the design a little bit, make it a little bit more round. Then your side panels, you've got them where you can now get people to buy the little plates to go on the sides like you do for the other championships. Um, it's clearly ugly, but it serves every purpose the WWE wants. And at some point, I'm probably going to get it. Right? I'm just going to be honest. Um, Smack dab in the middle, WWE. Side plates, wherever you want to put. Your team wins a championship, slap the side plates on. Right? It's everything that WWE wanted out of a new belt. It was lazy, but that gets people like me who even acknowledge it's ugly, but I'm still going to probably get it because it's the updated version of the Nature Boy belt, baby. The big gold. Why not?
Chase.
Cool is right, man. I hate to start off my first week back by butting heads with Cool, man. But Cool's right. He is in the minority here. Cool, you are the minority tonight, sir. It is ugly. It's stupid. It is a consolation prize. It is congratulations, you couldn't beat Roman. WWE now has three world titles. They have the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, and even though they're supposed to be unified, it's been a whole year, over a year, and we haven't seen it combined into one belt. So I'm still having a hard time believing that's unified. And then now we introduce this third belt. So instead of doing what they should have done at WrestleMania and having Cody finish the story and win the belts and then going away or going a separate way from there, Triple H comes out and says, "Hey, nobody can beat Roman, so hey, here's your participation trophy." What? Roman Reigns is the New York Yankees. He's the early 2000s New England Patriots. He's Tom Brady.
He definitely is. With all the cheating,
no
he definitely is.
nobody can beat him. And instead of everybody instead of addressing these issues, like, hey, Roman needs to lose some way, shape, or form. Like, this needs to happen. Instead of at Night of Champions saying, hey, we're going to have a 2 out of 3 falls match. And one fall is going to be for the Universal title. The other fall is going to be for the WWE Championship. And that's the most logical way to get one of those titles off of Roman, instead of making him relinquish it, doing a bunch of stupid stuff with it, saying, oh, Money in the Bank, you can only challenge for one title. That was the easiest, most logical, most dumbest way you could do it. Instead, they go, no, we're going to create a third championship. And yeah, we know Roman's not going to lose. Sorry. So here's another title. Whoever wins this is not they're a mid-card champion at best.
And I have thoughts of who should win as well.
You're not a world champion. Even though that says world champion there, you're not a world champion because you didn't beat the world champion. We gave you a third title to make you feel special. This is dumb. This is dumb. And I want somebody to go, oh, this is Vince McMahon. No, this isn't. This isn't Vince McMahon booking. This is your boy Paul Levesque.
This is Paul.
This is why I can't stand it when everybody goes, oh, Paul deserves Booker of the Year. Hunter's such a great booker. He's such a great business guy. No, look who he learned from. He learned from his doofus father-in-law. And this is a doofus father-in-law move right here.
Brett,
we have no creative thought in our head on how to get these titles off of Roman. So instead, we're going to create a third title. What? Makes no sense.
I have some comments. I'll let Brett go first, but I have a couple of.
Brett, your thoughts on the belt?
Oh, I agree with Chase. I don't really like. I almost like the design when I first from a faraway distance.
The more and more I look at it, the more and more I hate it.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking at first, because when they introduced it, I was actually at work. So one quick look, I was like, "Hey, they brought back the big gold belt. Pretty cool." And
I agree. I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, Brett. I agree with everything that Cool said. I like from a business standpoint, you got people like me and Cool who will probably spend astronomical amounts of money buying a Philadelphia Eagles side plate, a side plate for our favorite wrestlers, stuff like that. But I mean, at the same time, you literally took the big gold, Rick Rude, Ric Flair, and their legacy, and you found another way for Vince to be like, oh, it's mine. It's all mine. It's such good shit. Arr. So I'm sorry, Brett. My bad.
No, you're good. But I agree with that. The more and more I'm staring it down, I'm just hating the design every just second longer. And I do agree. They should have just taken one title off Roman. If you want the Chase idea, I like that. Best 2 out of 3 falls, one fall for each title. However you want to do it, but this does feel like a lazy way. Just, hey, here's another title because we don't want to take the titles off Roman quite yet. So, yeah, I agree with that, with Chase on this one.
Go ahead, Cool. You wanted to chime in?
Yes, I did. So, let's be honest. If we go back to the very first promo that Cody had after he won the Royal Rumble, he said, I want the WWE Championship. That's what he said. Right? He wanted to finish the story, get the belt his dad never got. He didn't care about the Universal Championship. So there was that glimmer of hope. Oh, Cody's going to be the one to beat him for the WWE Championship, and he'll keep the Universal. Because there was never going to be a time where he was going to lose the Universal Championship, because they want him to have this long reign, because that's how they get their jollies. So with that being said, once they switched and started saying he was doing the Universal, the Undisputed Universal Championship, I'm like, there's no way he's going to win. I already had resigned myself. He's not going to win. So they did come up with the worst way. So here's what they should be doing to fix this. I don't know. What they should be doing is saying, you've had both belts. We're going to combine those into one belt, and that's the WWE Championship. So you need to surrender the Universal Championship. It's now defunct. you're the WWE champion. You can't be both champions if you're only on one show. Right? This was always going to be, truthfully, the way that he would relinquish the Universal Championship, which is a stupid name for a championship anyway, always was. We could talk about how stupid this design is. Naming a championship the Universal Championship was immensely more stupid, right? That was just the dumbest thing ever, honestly, in my mind. I would never have bought a championship named the Universal Championship, wear it, or even put it in my background. It's trash. So go ahead, Chase.
I was just gonna say, like, I feel that if they didn't have the WWE Championship, that if they would have rebranded the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship, because they were calling the fans the WWE Universe for years. I thought it was fine. I think the fact that they made it and it's literally the same belt, just a different color. I think that's where you lose me, where it's like, yo, this is stupid. So it's the same belt. Like if they'd have just rebranded, repackaged the WWE Championship and called it the Universal Championship, I would have been okay with it. No, I'm not real big on the name, but it makes sense. It's like, yo, we call it the WWE Universe. You are the WWE Universal Champion. That it, like it fits. It's okay. But like you mentioned, like it's the same belt. It's literally the same thing. And it's like, this is stupid. Like you just made a different name just to make it the different name. Why the fudge? Sorry, my bad. I'm a little rocking tonight. Okay, Keith, okay. So I might let it slide. I might let it fly tonight. I don't know. We might get some fines from the network. That's okay though. That's all right. I'll pay them. But where you lost me is you could have had a red belt, or you could have had the WWE Championship, the Raw belt. And I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to talk about stupid names, let's just call it the SmackDown Championship and the Raw Championship instead of the WWE Championship and the Universal I don't know.
Well, they don't want that to me was stupid. Raw and SmackDown, anything. There shouldn't be a women's SmackDown champion and a Raw SmackDown and a Raw women's champion. That's stupid. The simple fact is, if you ever want to move the belts, then you have to do all this work. So what made it smart is you had the World Heavyweight Championship, which is just a new version. You like it or not, it's a new version. Yep. And you had the WWE Championship, right? So you had two distinct belts. They could switch whenever they wanted to, switch brands, because it didn't really matter, because they had their own name outside of being stuck to a show. So what you've done now is you had the Universal Championship, which definitely needs to just go away. I understand we call the WWE fans the WWE Universe. But the Universal Championship just sounds horrendously stupid to me. It always did from the first time I heard it. It was not a name that should have been given to a championship belt. Clearly, there was not a focus group done. If it was all Vince McMahon's Yes Man, because that's a joke. But I think they're doing the right thing the wrong way. You aren't going to let Roman lose. We've already come to grips with that. Who knows how long he'll be champ. He's going to stay on SmackDown. I guarantee you that. So that's going to put the Raw Championship. This is going to end up being a championship for Raw, right?
I will agree with you there. It feels like to me, with as big of a deal that WWE signed with Fox, that going forward, as long as SmackDown is on Fox, SmackDown will be the flagship show. That Raw is no longer the flagship show, nor will Raw be the flagship show going forward. It will be SmackDown.
So see, that's why this belt is here, right? And that's why this belt has been positioned as the fighting champions belt, because they want to bring back up the prestige of Raw. When you had Roman Reigns hold his belt for a year, you screwed Raw, because he was very, very rarely
SmackDown heavy.
Raw.
Yeah,
he was always on SmackDown. So I think he's going to stay there. This is going to be the Raw belt. Now, what needs to happen is this first champion cannot be Cody. Right. I don't think they're going to end up on the same brand, because at some point in the near future, Cody's going to have to be a champion, a world champion. He's going to be the world heavyweight champion in the near future.
You think so?
Yeah, not first.
I hate that.
Not first. He won't be.
No. I hate it. I hate it, because, like I said, this is a consolation prize. This championship says this championship says you couldn't beat Roman. So if you make
there's one person who can win this championship that we can't say that about.
I know.
Because there's
And
one person that
that's who
Roman
should
didn't
win
beat.
it.
That's who has to win it.
Yep.
Seth Rollins has to win this belt, the very first champion.
Yep.
And he needs to beat Finn Balor to do so.
Yep.
And the reason being is a
I was
reversal of
about
what
to
happened.
say, wasn't
with
Finn the
Universal.
first ever Universal Champion?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I think needs to happen on that front. I know I'm taking up a lot of time, and my bad, Brett, because we're all supposed to be talking here. My bad, but I was just really thinking about this earlier, and I just feel like what we really need to have happen is this belt needs to go to somebody like Seth. He needs to hold it for 6 months or so, right? You can't just win it and then lose it, win and lose it, all that crap. He needs to hold it for a while. We need to keep Cody completely away from the championship picture, right? Let his redemption crap story that they want to do, just keep him away from the championship totally for about 6 months or so.
Cody's got to beat Roman.
The problem is,
but they're not going to do it.
Put them on the same show because
I think they should,
but they're not, because it's the two biggest stars right now.
I think Cody should. I think Cody should go. I think Cody should go where Roman is, and Cody and Roman should Roman should fight Cody at SummerSlam, and SummerSlam should be Cody's moment.
He should, but then I don't believe they're going to do that.
But because it's 3 years. But here's my thing. If here's the actuality of what I think is going to happen. I think you're right, Cool. I think Seth and Cody. I think it's going to be a workhorse. I think that's going to be your workhorse championship. Just like Hunter said it, a guy who's going to defend it anywhere, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. So that's going to make the fans go, oh, yeah, we want Cody. We want Seth. We want Finn Balor. We want,
Bobby
whoever.
Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen is they're going to bring Gunther, Braun Breaker, or Omos or Brock Lesnar to go beat Roman.
Homo sapien.
Yeah.
Ooh, Braun Breaker, take my money.
Those last two were just throw-ins. The first two, which I don't like, I think is stupid. But that's what we're leaning towards. Like,
so here's another way I could see the story possibly going if we have real storytellers. I'll make this quick. Cody goes to Raw, Roman's on SmackDown. They don't meet. We have like a SmackDown versus Raw type thing, like they've always done in the past. Something where you fight people from the other show.
Yeah.
And
instead of doing it at WrestleMania, they'll do it somewhere stupid like Survivor Series or TLC.
Like Survivor Series would be perfect. Or because once we get to WrestleMania, all of a sudden we don't have a brand split anymore. Like we have a brand split for like 9 months solid, and then it starts to get murky at month 10 and 11, and then by WrestleMania it's like it never happened.
Yep.
I can see him maybe beating him at WrestleMania next year, and then we have another draft, to reset everything again. I could see something like that possibly happening. They're going to do some type of long, drawn-out, stupid redemption story for Cody, starting with him beating Brock Lesnar, and he's probably not going to lose, but maybe once or twice during this whole time. But he'll get taken out, right? I mean, we just look at what they did with Stone Cold back in the day. He'll get taken out and miss a couple of months, so he doesn't have to fight every month and win. But he's going to go on like another one of those amazing streaks where he never loses. Cody will. He'll get built back up, and he'll get that opportunity probably to get the belt from Roman. But I think somewhere in the middle, if you want to give people what they want, get them a few months, you're going to get him doing something real wild and beating somebody for this new World Heavyweight Championship, to give him a solid reign with that as well. So that's just a couple of things I could see possibly happen. We've got a year, pretty much 11 months for it to happen. So we know in WWE a lot can happen in 11 months.
Of course.
All right, so everybody go around real quick. Who's your thoughts on who's winning this? Cool, you said Seth, right?
So I think it's going to be Finn Balor, but it should be Seth.
Jason, you got?
I'll be honest with you. I've got Drew McIntyre. I've got Bobby Lashley or Seth. I don't think it's Cody. I don't think it's Finn Balor. I don't think they see Finn Balor as a champion.
Brett, who do you think?
I'll say I think right now you just go with the hottest person right now, and I think right now outside of like Cody, that would probably be Seth Rollins. I'd keep it simple, stick it on Seth, give him a nice long title run.
I mean, he's the drip god, right? So he can make the belt supposedly look good, right?
I think Seth is the next choice because, like, how do you not do that? He already had a gripe when Cody automatically went for it, and he was like, "This is my time." I just feel like Seth should have a belt. If you don't put it on Seth, I can see maybe Lashley. That's the really only two.
With all the stuff coming out about Drew not being happy, and with Drew not being happy, and the supposed reports, if you will, of the inaccurate. What happened? Did I leave?
You went to just audio only. There you go.
Okay, I thought I died. Anyways, I thought I was in heaven. I was like, what happened? But anyways, with all the reports of Drew, being happy and stuff like that, if I'm WWE, I'm putting it on Drew.
When I'm making my things, I do forget that we are having a draft this week. So I'm probably going to change my picks after the draft because I'm sure there's going to be different people that I'm not thinking about right now on the different brands. But yeah, I'll go with that for now.
Speaking of the draft, since there's a good segue, cool. It is Friday. We're going to see part 1, and then the remaining will go on Raw on Monday. So where do you think things shake up? Who goes where?
So to Chase's point, this is a direct, I don't know what Chase is over there doing, but to Chase's point, this is a direct correlation to feeling like now SmackDown is the number 1 show, right? Because we've never had the draft start on SmackDown before. It's always started on Raw. It's always been like a draft week. So, to Chase's point, that definitely makes sense. But I think we're going to see Rhea on SmackDown, obviously, because she's the SmackDown Women's Champion. And they don't have sense enough to make it a women's championship and then like a ladies championship or whatever, right? They just want to keep it the same thing. So she's got to end up on SmackDown, obviously, because we can't do another, you take Bianca's belt and Bianca takes your belt. That's just stupid. So either rename the belts, which I doubt they're going to do, or that's going to have to happen that way. All right. Then I think, so obviously that means Bianca stays on Raw. You're not going to strip a champion. Obviously, I think when we're talking about the men's championship, we've already talked about Roman's going to be there. I think Cody goes to Raw. I can actually see Seth going to SmackDown, which could muck up our thought process, but that's a possibility as well because he's a guy who hasn't challenged Roman, and this would give him an opportunity to do so. I think we're going to see something happen with one of the Usos going to the opposite show from everybody else. Probably Jay. Tag team champions, there's only one set of those, so it doesn't even really make sense to draft them to a brand. They should just be, kind of outside of the draft because so if the Usos win the belts, they'll stay together. But I think if they don't, Jay's going to get drafted separately from everybody else. And in that way, they can add new members to the bloodline. A lot of the other guys is just going to depend on one person making a move and then to counteract that move. Like if Austin's Theory goes to SmackDown, then obviously Gunther and Imperium are coming to Raw. If Gunther and Imperium stay on SmackDown, Austin Theory is going to be on Raw. So some of them are pretty much set. Like once you see one person make a move, you already know, unless somebody loses a championship that we don't expect. Now, I can see Braun Breaker showing up and winning the United States Championship off of Austin Theory.
Brett, who do you think goes where? And any call-ups? Who do you think gets drafted from NXT?
Who do I think outside of, I'm convinced that Braun Breaker's probably going to get called up. I'm thinking, I'm really liking the rumors. I'm hoping Ilya Dragunov gets called up to face Gunther. Even if you bring him up just for that one feud, give it to me. No, I could definitely see them switching Gunther over to Raw, Theory over to SmackDown. I could definitely see that. I could also see them, if they're going to move Rhea, obviously, to SmackDown, I could see them just moving the entire Judgment Day to SmackDown. And then they almost teased a Judgment Day Bloodline potential feud down the road. You can have that now. So those are just a couple of my predictions. I think Judgment Day's moving to SmackDown. You're going to get Imperium to Raw. And then Ilya Dragunov to Raw as well. And then Braun Breaker to SmackDown.
We need him on Raw too, by the way.
Chase, what do you think the shakeup's going to be?
Number one, I think that champions should never be eligible. I think that champions, which they used to do, and then they start, to make it like, oh, so unpredictable. They started doing the thing, but we saw what happened last year. Maybe it was a couple of years ago with Charlotte and Becky, where it was like, oh, one woman got drafted to the other show and the other one. So we had a title exchange in the ring, which was absolutely.
The Street Profits did it with the New Day. They just swapped out.
That was absolutely, positively one of the most ignorant things I've ever seen in my entire life. It should never happen, especially if you are the Raw Women's Champion or the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. You are ineligible for draft. That's how it should be. Like, I'm here, I'm stuck. This is the perk of being a champion is that I am not eligible to move. That's how it should be. But I think that I like Brett's idea of Dragunov. I was a huge NXT UK fan. I'm still butthurt that it folded. NXT UK was the closest thing to like British strong style in WWE is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Like I couldn't believe that it that actually happened. Like we had years of British strong style in WWE. Like it just doesn't seem like it existed, but it was great. It was amazing. I always watched NXT UK, all the talent that was on there. Tyler Bate is one of the most talented people in the world. Dragunov is amazing. Obviously Pete Dunne, all those guys that came from grizzled young veterans who will not be returning to WWE. So I would not be shocked if we saw the leader of Schism. His name, I'm drawing a blank.
Joe Gacy. I
wouldn't be surprised if we saw Joe Gacy call up and Ava Raine went on her own in NXT. Because obviously without the grizzled young veterans, Schism is not going to be is not going to be what it was.
They didn't belong in there anyway.
Yeah. And it's not going to run as well. Obviously Braun Breaker, the obvious choice. And that's about it. Obviously there's been humongous rumors that they're going to swap the US and the Intercontinental Championship. So I wouldn't be shocked if Gunther went to Raw, which would be great because if Cody stays on Raw, we could get that potential Gunther and Cody match. And then Austin Theory on SmackDown. If you want to continue pushing Austin Theory to be a star of the future, let dummies forget that he has the most failed cash in of all time, the most biggest joke of a cash in. Dude, he's the reason why there shouldn't be a Money in the Bank anymore. I'm solely convinced. Austin Theory is the sole reason I think there should never ever be another Money in the Bank match ever again.
Well, see, it should have never been a unified championship. That's what really screwed everything. The unified championship screwed everything because you have to protect Roman Reigns and can't lose to anybody. You can't lose any belts to anyone. So
Theory still could have challenged him and lost. That's what it is.
Yeah, but Theory was a coward at the time. We knew he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah. But like I said, those are mine. Obviously, Braun Breaker, and then Joe Gacy, and the Intercontinental and United States title swapping.
I can see Cameron Grimes coming up. I haven't seen him lately.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Cameron Grimes, Breaker. I don't know if anybody from the women's will come up, even though the women have so much talent.
I think that tag team will.
Which one, Tiffany Stratton?
No, the tag team. The the ones that lost the tag team championship.
Okay.
Casey Cesaro and I forgot her name.
Catanzaro.
Oh, Catanzaro.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jaden Carter, right?
What they should do is just put Toxic Attraction back together and move them to the main roster.
I know you really want that, Cool, but that's not what's best. What's best right now is for them two to fight because they are, in my opinion, the highlight of that show.
Yeah, but it's only going to last for so long, and then they have to have something to do after that.
Yeah, I know.
And NXT sucks right now anyway, so it's better to get out of there, even if it means you don't finish the feud. It's better to get out of there when you can.
I don't think NXT sucks right now, man. I think I think once you get Braun off the show, and you bring up some new challengers and some new fresh meat for
storytelling
Carmelo, I think that I think Carmelo is going to lead NXT into this year being pretty hot. So
I would not refer to him as Carmelo anymore. From now, he is him.
Right.
He's fighting Grayson tomorrow night. Well, tonight actually.
So
Bro,
I went to Grayson Allen is another one that can be like maybe not the champ, but maybe like what's the other belt, the red strap thing? I forgot.
The North American.
Yeah, North American. Yeah, he would be a good North American champion.
That's their Intercontinental title.
Yeah, he could be a good champion for that.
Who, Grayson?
Yeah, I think Grayson would.
No, Grayson should be a champion.
He's not better than Carmelo.
He's not better than Carmelo, but he's right underneath Carmelo.
So you put the secondary strap on him and you do it old school.
Carmelo's white hot right now. You got to put him against some piece of shit like Grayson Waller. And
but I'm saying, after Grayson Waller loses, because he's gonna lose.
Okay, yeah.
Then he can go for the
I'm picking up
American. And he can be like, okay, that's the because you got to elevate the North American Championship. Carmelo did when he had it. Now you've got to kind of re-elevate that belt and get it on a guy that you're like, okay.
That was a phenomenal. That was a phenomenal show. That Stand and Deliver. Oh my god, that was so great.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the best NXT of the NXT new era, like since 2.0 started.
Yeah.
Since Black and Gold, Stand and Deliver was an amazing show.
They just got to do a better job of their storytelling and writing. It's not the athletes that they have there because they have great talent there, but their storytelling has gotten lazy and not that good to me.
Yeah, agreed. You remuted yourself, Key. You unmuted and then remuted.
All right,
it ain't my fault. And see, this is not my computer I'm on tonight, so it wants to act stupid. But no, I'm excited for the draft. New shakeups finally. I mean, if you want to call it shakeups, I mean, I just are you doing it just swapping champions pretty much.
Profits. I forgot to say that. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Otis and Gable should be broken up too.
Bro, I think WrestleMania was Chad Gable's coming out party. I mean, like obviously, like everybody knows how talented Chad Gable is, but I think like if I'm WWE and I'm sitting there in Gorilla and I hear that whole arena absolutely positively erupt, bro, that when he rolled German suplexed Braun Strowman, that building shook. It got so loud. That was one of the loudest pops of the weekend. And if I'm WWE and I'm somebody sitting in Gorilla and I hear that, I go, man, that's something you listen to. Because one thing that Vince has always talked about is he doesn't listen to online stuff. He doesn't listen to reporters. He listens to live crowds. And man, if you listen to live crowds, maybe not Vince, I'm talking about anybody else who's been under Vince, like Paul or any of the other, producers or writers or whatever. If you heard that crowd when he suplexed Braun Strowman like that, I'm working Chad Gable into being split and going on his own and doing something besides Shorty G. Yeah.
When you said Chad Gable, it was the first thing that came to mind.
I know.
Shorty G.
Unfortunately, it is. So you've got to do something with him to kill that, and push him, because he's a lot hotter than what I even thought he was. I mean, like I said, we all know how great of an athlete he is, but man, guys, if you'd have heard that pop, I was in the arena, and like I said, the arena shook.
You could hear it on
when
TV.
he did that.
It was real clear.
Yeah.
Honestly, Chad Gable versus either of the two United States or Intercontinental champion, give me either one of those matchups. Chad Gable versus Gunther would be an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Oh, he would take to school. He would take Austin Theory to school.
Yep.
Like
but it would be a great match. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're just two different styles of guys, but I mean, Chad is legitimately your modern day Kurt. He can go out there and have a great match with anybody.
Mm-hmm. But can't do it with a broken freaking neck.
I didn't think he was going to be able to pick up on, but he did it.
Oh my God, dude. The like I said, that place lost it when that happened.
All right, so Backlash look like it's putting together a card. I don't know how great this pay-per-view is going to be, but it is set for May 6th. We got Cody versus Omos. Oh, damn, Brett took him down.
You mean
not
Seth
Cody versus Omos, Seth versus Omos. I'm sorry. I feel like this was a Vince pool. Who wins this match?
I mean, I think it's Omos. And again, everybody wants to point at Vince when something happens. Like I mentioned a few weeks ago, your boy, The Undertaker, it was supposedly clamoring for Omos backstage, and has been obvious, or like been supposedly, because Taker's been on the road with WWE doing the Broadway thing or the live thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So supposedly Taker's been working with Omos really closely, and you get a guy like Hunter who has a lot of respect for Taker. Obviously, a lot of people do. And if Taker says, man, like he's got something, guess what's going to happen? Like Triple H and a lot of those other guys are going to go, okay, if Taker says he's got something, let's go with it. So I don't think this was a Vince thing. I think I think you can blame Undertaker for this.
Well, when I say Vince thing, I think this is not necessarily he had anything to do with it, but this reeks of like Vince getting excited to have this big guy go out, lose at WrestleMania, then come back and get another marquee match, even though he hasn't beat anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
But I do agree Omos should win. All his Homo sapiens or whatever you call them should be happy that he's going to get a win. First real one he's had, and I don't know when.
No, I agree. I think this one's just going to end up being Omos, and then you can use that to springboard him to maybe a title match or something. Give him like a Intercontinental or United States title match if you really want to, but I think Omos wins. And I think it'll actually be more one-sided than we all think. I don't think it'll be very competitive. I think Omos actually beats Seth Rollins quite handedly.
And since we're talking about Omos, I just want to say WWE sucks. We're not getting your Hurt Business back. And you suck for that. You will always suck for that. You don't give the fans what they want and piss on all the decision makers there.
That's right. That is right.
All right, then we got Cody versus Brock. Cody went batshit crazy last week on Raw, defeating all these security guys and everything else, calling out Brock. Who wins this match?
It only makes sense for it to be Cody.
It makes sense for Cody, but I mean, yeah, it's. I think this is what they're doing. The the big complaint that I heard from a lot of people. I actually got to sit down and talk to Keish WrestleMania weekend, which was dope. It was fun as hell. And Keish had the same theory, obviously, because Keish don't want that to happen because they're riding a huge wave right now. But Keish, his theory, along with a bunch of others, was Cody hadn't earned it.
I agree.
I said the same thing. Yep.
That's why he couldn't win both. He could only have won one because he hadn't earned both.
I was gonna say this feels like pretty much if y'all seen John Cena versus Brock Lesnar from 2012, copy paste. I think Brock Lesnar just gonna kick the absolute living crap out of Cody Rhodes for 15 minutes, or however long they want this match to go, and then Cody just wins with like 3 moves at the end. I think it's just
double crossroads.
Yeah, pretty.
Maybe add in there a beautiful disaster kick.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was a roll up, but I agree. I think that's something that very highly likely happens. And then Brock goes on a tirade, beats up some security guards, and then Adam Pearce is like, "You're suspended for 3 months or whatever." I mean, literally, Brett, like literally wash and repeat of what happened the last time. So I wouldn't be shocked. It would not surprise me whatsoever. Because you sell to Endeavor, and you got that UFC thing, man. Wouldn't it just be shades of 2014, 2015, 2016 to have Brock be the loose cannon again? Like, oh man, he's a legitimate fighter. He can kill people with his bare hands. Like, oh, we've got to have 30 security guards come and stop him. And yeah.
Or he could come. Oh, what could happen? He could come out the next week on Raw, the next night after he loses to Cody, and put somebody in the Camaro lot and break their arm and get suspended.
There you go.
He gonna put Adam Pearce in the arm. He's the funky for everything. We got the Bloodline versus KO, Sammy, and Matt Riddle.
Only makes sense for the Bloodline to win this match. Whether they win the tag team titles or not, KO, Sammy, and Riddle aren't a real 3-man team. They've been doing everything they can to make the prize fighter, Solo Sikoa, and Enforcer look like $1 million. Having his team lose in this match doesn't really make a lot of sense. Riddle and Sammy and KO can take loss after loss. It doesn't matter.
So there was something that I was a little upset with about NXT Black and Gold, and I've gone on record a million times by stating how awesome I loved NXT Black and Gold. But they did a thing where this was right before the pandemic. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa got back together. It was a feel-good moment. It was amazing. And then instead of Ciampa turning on Gargano, they had Gargano turn on Ciampa. And then they re-feuded. Sammy and Kevin have said it. Triple H has said it. Everybody has said it. Sammy and Kevin are destined to fight forever. We are headed towards another Sammy and Kevin split and another Sammy and Kevin feud. And it's going to happen. Here's why. Like, I see you shaking your head, Key. Like, I don't hate it because I can watch Sammy and Kevin fight each other for.
I mean, I don't eat it. I mean, I don't either. But I like it. It's just like.
Here's my problem. But here's my problem. My problem is it's too soon. And if we get Sammy and Kevin splitting up before we have Roman lose the belt, I feel like everything that happened with Sammy and Kevin and Sammy in Montreal and the bloodline and everything is all for nothing. It was all stupid. It was all placeholder. Like it was small entertainment. Like it's not good long-term storytelling. Like, and everybody's always like, oh, like, but it's long-term storytelling. You should like this bloodline thing. If Sami and Kevin split and start fighting before Roman loses and before the bloodline splits, that's not good storytelling. It's not. So, but I mean, like that's where it looks like we're headed with Sami going behind Kevin's back, trying to convince Jay, trying to sway Jay to the other side and all this other stuff. And him and Kevin are visibly, there's friction between them. So I don't know. Like I said, that's where it looks like we're headed, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I've never wanted you to be wrong more, sir.
I think there was a few times you probably wanted me to be more wrong.
There actually wasn't.
I don't know. I think we could go back to a date in February.
No, I want you to be more wrong here.
Okay.
We'll get back there. I'm not too worried about that. We'll get back there.
Yeah.
But this is just like the redundancy of why do you keep doing this to me?
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a problem. It was the same thing with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa that I'm literally talking about. They brought them back together, and it was such a feel-good thing in NXT, and it was so great. And then Johnny turns on Tommaso, and I was like, man, we just got them back together. Like, why would you do it so soon? I mean, same thing with those guys. I could watch Tommaso and Gargano fight each other for 100 years. That's fine. But I just felt like when they brought them back together, it should have been a little bit more long-lived than a few weeks. And it's the same thing here with Sami and Kevin. We've seen them beat the shit out of each other for years, and have a short period of time where they came back together, and then they went back to beating the crap out of each other. And then now it's like, okay, I'm cool with them being the tag team champions. I'm cool with them being together for a while. I understand eventually they're gonna cross paths and they're gonna fight each other again, but not right now, man. That's not, like, it's too soon. Especially, like I said, if you do it before Roman loses, I feel like you've literally just erased everything that you did with the Bloodline storyline.
Please, let's just find something besides these two guys fighting for the umpteenth billion time. For me, let's just do something different. I get it. People like it. You can draw tickets with it, but the more you do it, especially like in WWE, the less luster it has. Right.
Agreed.
Right. Like, for instance, the Shield. You brought the Shield back like 7 times. By the last time, everybody's like, "Who cares?"
Yep.
When you keep doing the same thing over and over, it just really it doesn't hit the same anymore.
I agreed, because I feel like they do it just to get a reaction. Like with the Shield, they only did that to try and make everybody like Roman again, and it was like, no matter what you do, people aren't going to like Roman.
Yeah, we're not going to like Roman. We'll like Dean and Seth. We don't like Roman. Like he's just he just
unless you turn him heel,
right,
and then now everybody loves him.
Yeah, he looks like a heel. He just always was a heel. He just wanted to be a good guy. Should just always let him be the bad guy that he is.
Agreed.
Brett, what do you think? Who wins?
I think it's going to be the Bloodline here. And I agree. To Chase's point, I could see Sami and KO, breaking up and having another feud at some point. I'm just hoping that it's not anytime, before the end of this year. You want to do something like that in like 2024 after they've had like a year-long title reign, or even up until like the Rumble or Elimination Chamber? Yeah, absolutely. But
they're not getting a year-long title reign.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe like the Royal Rumble or something.
They'll probably lose one of those set of championships before Night of Champions, since they're not going to be at Night of Champions.
I love that. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say anything about anybody's religion, but I love how there's been reports that have been released that Saudi Arabia is willing to let Sami Zayn come to Saudi Arabia. Newsflash: Sami Zayn don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. It's not so much of them letting him go. Sami Zayn don't want nothing to do with Saudi Arabia. So I
If they
love
win
it. I love
the
it when they
match-
report stories like that.
If they win the match and they continue to be champs, Sammy or Kevin is going to get taken out in that 6-man match, so they have a reason for them not to be at Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Definitely makes sense. Then you got, I don't even know why
Mike
they added her in this
James.
match. They got Zelina Vega versus Rhea Ripley. This is going to be a squash match. I don't know why Zelina Vega is even the number one contender. Everybody agreed.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
We
Uh-oh.
go ahead, wait, you gotta
Huh?
We
We
gotta
can
bring
wait.
the-
We can wait. We can wait. Yeah, we can wait.
who wins this match?
Raise your hand if you think
y'all in
Zelina
agreement?
Vega's gonna
Yeah.
win
Rhea
this match.
Ripley.
Not yeah. Well, we all know why Zelina Vega is in this match. Okay, it has a lot to do with Backlash's location. That's the only reason Zelina Vega is in this match.
And three simple letters as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a snowball's chance in hell that Rhea Ripley loses this match.
This might be your bathroom break because it might be mine.
This is
But we gotta bring
bathroom
Doug
and
on,
network.
ladies and gentlemen. Next, we gotta bring Mr. Big Time up here.
Man, this is the only time I love seeing Big Time on my screen is when he's talking wrestling and not them Cowboys. Man,
Big time.
What's
we
going
need to
on,
crown them, dog.
Whenever I show up, ladies and gentlemen, in here, for those who are watching the replay and for those that are watching live, this is the time when old school wrestling, WWE and AEW era TNA, Power, whatever y'all got talking about.
pal.
Power Pro Wrestling, whatever you got. I don't know. Backyard
PWG.
wrestling, whatever.
Yeah.
In independent circuits, whatever. It don't make no difference. This is the time when I come on. Well, I really don't mean to interrupt the show, but I just got a few problems that I'm still having problems with. I won't be gone. I'm just gonna say what I got to say, and then I'm gonna get out of here. It really don't have anything to do with y'all format, and y'all guys are doing a great job, and no question about it. But let me ask you this couple questions. Since Triple H is trying his best to do things the right way, and I get it, and I like what he's doing. Obviously, he's trying to bring back the real flavor of it. I get it. I got one problem though, and maybe y'all, since y'all wrestling expertise, and I am too, but I'm just not on y'all level. But y'all help me out with this. Did we just not see a Hell in a Cell match just a few weeks ago with Van Balor and Edge? Didn't we do that? Okay. Hell, the cage is gonna drop again eventually, because Triple H is he if I'm not mistaken, he said he wants to make that thing the cage means something, right?
Correct.
You also gonna have War Games that's gonna come back again, right? Here's my question, y'all, and y'all forgive me if I'm wrong, but see, I'm from the 70s and the 80s wrestling when the cage meant something. Can I ask y'all this question real quick? And I've been stuck ever since Edge and Van Balor. I ain't got past it. Why are we running folks' heads into the cage and there are no results? Why are we scraping their heads against the cage and there are no results? Why? What is the meaning of the cage if it ain't no blood in it? In AEW bleeding every week? I'm just saying, and they getting stabbed by pins and burnt by fire and getting thrown. I mean, when is Triple H? And then we talking about a man who bled every pay-per-view. Triple
Every
H.
match.
Man, every pay-per-view. He bleeding guts. I mean, come on. Why are we insulting people like me who love cage matches? The final battleground, where prices and bones are broken and stuff like that. Why they insulting my intelligence?
Let me ask you something, Doug. Doug, let me ask you something. Did it make you feel good knowing that scraping the face across the cell and throwing him into the cell didn't make him bleed, but them launching a ladder at his head finally busted him open and he had to get 8 staples?
Yeah,
that it was a ladder inside the cage that busted him open and not the cage?
Well, matter of fact, they were so scared that they didn't even put the camera on poor Van Balor. They kept it on Edge and the referee. Can somebody help me? I mean, good God
you were putting
Almighty.
staple in his head, Doug. I mean,
I can answer it for you. I can answer it for you, Doug. I actually agree with you 1,000%. But the reason is they want to keep it what is it, PG-13 or whatever it is now. What they have to do is go back to saying, you know what? There's tiers of matches, and this is where hopefully Triple H cleans this up. There's tiers of matches. When you get to where you're fighting in like a Hell in a Cell, War Games type matches, there should be blading. It is what it is. You don't want to do the blading, don't do the matches.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chase and GRD3 and Cool and Key. I'm sorry for busting up your format, but
no. We appreciate.
You are actually part of the format.
I haven't gotten past.
Doug, I'm actually upset that you didn't show up wearing the crown and wearing the 10 pounds of gold.
First of
That's
all,
what I'm upset.
First of all, it's always nearby. Never forget that.
My man.
That's what we need, sir. That's what we need.
It's right here. It's right here. It's right.
And Key, from like I said, from now on, Doug is not allowed to tell anybody he's coming in. Doug is not allowed to tell anybody he's coming in. He's to show up by surprise. And when Doug shows up backstage, I need you to cue Jerry the King Lawler's music.
Please.
And Doug, you're not allowed to show up on screen without that crown.
Please. Well, if that's what you want, I'm able to give it. I always satisfy the people. I ain't got no.
Yeah, absolutely. If you give me give me more of that and less cowboy talk, Doug, and you're more than welcome in my house.
Well, I don't want to interrupt your show, but you're doing a little violating right there. Can we talk about now? Let me say this: AEW has their part right. Mm-hmm. They do. If it's then you ain't got to bleed just for every preliminary match. But when it's war, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and you put a cage around or you put any type of specialty match that involves no disqualification type matches, anything goes type matches, and to show you how backwards it is, y'all. Cool, you just brought up a great point. But explain this to me. Didn't we just see Sheamus, Gunther, Drew, triple threat match? Didn't we see how beaten up Sheamus' back was, how red and whelpy and all that was? What's the difference? Is that PG?
I guess as long as it's not blood, it's PG. I guess. I mean, I'm with you, but that would be my assumption. Yeah, looking like you got whipped. It's fine, I guess.
Yeah. Well, ain't no look. You got whipped. I mean, you can't. I see whelps. I see Mississippi old time burning type beating going on. But I know. Hey, I'm just telling you like it is. I've seen it. I'm serious. Why in the world are they insulting my intelligence like this? Stop. Look, if you gonna run folks into a cage, Van Balor. I saw him hit the cage. Well, Edge. I saw him hit the cage at least 3 times. And all I see is just his eyes blinking up and down like this. I mean, like, wow, right? Where's the violence? I'm sorry. That's what Hell in a Cell was built on. It was built on pure violence. Why are we trying to make a cage match a midget mixed tag team match? It just don't make any sense to me at all. Now, I can tell by the way y'all uneasy. Y'all should know by I am. Sorry if anybody's offended by the reference, but you shouldn't be because look what color I am. So I mean, good luck.
I'm not offended.
Calm down. Calm down. Hello, everybody. Just
I'm
calm
very
down.
hard to offend. So
Yeah. I'm just saying about that. But can we please, somebody, y'all can look like y'all got connections. Please email Triple H. Bring the value of the cage back into fruition. Bring the value, not the people, but the cage. The cage meant something when the guys got into it. Why you look when the photo go into the cage, cool, Chase. Notice how when they make their entrance, before they walk into the cage, they stand there and look at it and gaze and like, oh, I'm about to get in this. What you so scared of? You ain't gonna pay the price for it. I'm through. God bless you. Y'all take it easy. I'm done. Y'all take it easy, man. Goodbye. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for letting me slide in, right? Goodbye. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our big time segment.
I'm gonna have to get Jerry to keep always his theme song now.
So when he shows up backstage, and I don't want you to tell nobody, Key. I just want you to start playing it, and then we're just gonna be like, "Oh my God, he's here!"
I prefer Ric Flair music, but that I see
y'all. Good stuff. Good stuff. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure when Big Tom Douglas Brooks comes in and teaches us youngins about some old school wrestling.
He does have a good point, though.
Oh, yeah.
So Sami Zayn and KO gonna be like Jeff Jarrett and Ric Flair, oldie like that. They're gonna be wrestling to their age.
Yep.
What's up,
Absolutely.
Kyle and Hunter?
Yes. Appreciate Kyle and Hunter jumping through. Yeah, man.
So
go ahead, Key. I had no idea.
I was gonna say we got one more match to get through. It's the triple threat: Bronson Reed, Theory, and Lashley.
I think that Bronson Reed should win this match because I feel like Bronson Reed's WWE return has been a little lackluster, especially where he was prior when he got released in WWE and then went on the independent scene and showed everybody what he was about. But I think it's Austin Theory. I don't think they're going to let Austin Theory drop that title anytime soon.
No, I agree with that. I think it's just going to be one of those things where they'll take each other out and then Theory slides in to steal the victory.
Yep.
So I think it's going to be Austin Theory on this one.
Yep.
So Bronson Reed can't lose, but Austin Theory is going to win.
That's how it should. That's how it should be, but they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to make Bronson Reed lose. Because in that match, who you gonna have take the pin? You're gonna
Lashley can take the pin. So Lashley can get brutalized by Bronson Reed, and then slimy Austin Theory slides in, hits Bronson with the belt or something, and then grabs the win on Lashley.
I mess with that. I like that.
So it's got to be something like that. Like Bronson Reed has to set up the victory. The little slime ball slugs in and gets the victory. Lashley can take the pin with no problem because it's Lashley.
Yep. I like it.
Then that's when you're going to set up Lashley Bronson Reed feud.
Mm-hmm.
So they would have to stay on the same brand.
Put him in the Dominator and slam him. I want to see that. If he does that, that's impressive.
That would be quite the feat, that's for sure.
If he even can get him in the Hurt Lock, that would be impressive. I just want to say, if we're not going to bring back the Hurt Business, change the freaking name.
Agreed.
I'm very upset about the Hurt Business, if you can't tell.
I am too. I don't know if you remember or not, but my prediction prior to WrestleMania was that the Hurt Business was going to come back at WrestleMania.
I know. I remember because I was right there with you like, yeah. And they played us.
Yep.
They did.
Instead, Lashley came out with that big ass that big behind trophy, and he looked at it at the top of the ramp. He was like, "I'm not going down there with that."
Yeah.
I mean, you can't reunite the Hurt Business. You got to save time for Shane, right?
Yo,
Oh, boy.
that's a family of bad quads.
That's messed up, cool. That's messed up, cool.
If any of the kids wrestle, man, you got to make sure you do extra quad exercise in there for them.
Especially Hunter's kids. Especially Hunter's kids. Yeah. That's why that's messed up. Because Hunter ain't even blood related to him, and he got those bad quads.
Hunter's daughters better watch out. They don't get the quad injuries from their daddy.
Yep. That's
or
right.
their mama's side of the family.
Yep.
Because Vince and Shane, shoot, Stephanie probably tore hers, and we just didn't find out because she wasn't on TV that much.
Yeah.
Stephanie said, "Forget this. I'm out. Y'all can have it.
I don't blame her.
Y'all can have it." But we've been on here for at least an hour, guys. Talked about some stuff. Y'all got any thoughts before we get on out of here? Because 6 o'clock will be here. You know it for me.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything. Yeah.
All I got is watch the NFL draft, watch the WWE draft, and thank you, Kyle. He also likes the new belt. It can be ugly. That doesn't mean you can't like it. You can like an ugly belt.
Yeah, Cool was the only one who liked it up here, Kyle. We all was like, it's poo.
Yep.
They hating on it, Kyle. They don't understand
it's like they got a sticker and just slapped it on. Like, here.
It's just an update, baby. It's 2023. It's an update, baby.
I say all I gotta say is we're getting closer and closer to the return of the best in the world. I can't wait. Hopefully, CM Punk's back soon.
Oh
can't
boy,
wait to see him back in the ring.
Yeah, he's gonna be
yeah. Before we get out of here. So CM Punk backstage at Raw last night. Prior to the event starting, no, he was not kicked out. He was asked politely to leave, and the reason why is because he's under contract with another company, and they don't want there to be any issues with tampering, because Triple H almost got slapped with tampering last year. When he tried to snag Andrade, Malachi, Buddy Murphy, and all those guys from AEW. They got threatened with a tampering lawsuit against AEW then. So Vince called remotely and said, "Hey, could you please ask Phil Brooks to leave? It's all over the internet. Please get him out of there." Very interesting. CM Punk will be back. Almost guarantee it, 85%. It'll be at the new show debuting that will be in Chicago on June 9th.
90%.
90%, yeah.
I'm 90%.
I'm 99%, but I just,
I'm really 105, but I just want
to exactly. Cool enough. Yeah. So I think it's inevitable. Which good, man. I'm excited for it. I'm very, very happy about it. It's how it should be. If the story that came out, if the independent study came out that said Punk and his camp were all at fault and the Elite did nothing wrong, then that's grounds for termination of a contract, right? I mean, I'm not an expert, but if you started a fight with somebody at your workplace, whether you're under contract or not, that's grounds for termination. So if everybody's scared, if they were so scared to release Punk because of a lawsuit, but he started the fight, what are you scared of? Man,
I think their report was poppycock.
Yeah, I think they were more scared of watching him go to the other show and blow up the ratings there.
Yeah.
I mean, they were always going to bring him back. They just had to wait an acceptable amount of time, I feel like, to reintroduce him.
I think here's the issue. I think it started out as a shoot, started out as real, and then just like Punk, I don't know if y'all saw or not, but a few weeks ago, Punk posted on his Instagram an old story of Memphis wrestling when two guys got into a fist fight, and then they walked into Jerry Lawler's office the next day in old Memphis wrestling. This is Douglas Brooks's territory right here, man. This was back in the 70s and 80s where these two guys walked into Jerry Lawler's office in Memphis Wrestling, and they worked it out and they squashed their beef and they decided to go ahead and do business. He posted that literal story right on his Instagram 2 or 3 weeks ago. So that tells me that this started out as a shoot. They all elected to do business. And if you're gonna try and sell out Wembley Stadium as much as you can, you got to give me something big.
Exactly.
And Punk
and
versus
Goldberg.
Kenny. If
not Goldberg.
If Goldberg comes in as an attraction, that's fine. But Goldberg versus MJF obviously should not happen.
No.
But if you want to bring in some people for an attraction of some sort to kind of boost ratings, get people talking, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It's the type of business the type of business we're in. You bring people in to talk and do all that. So
I think if you want to sell out Wembley,
Brett, go ahead, Brett. Say it. If you're going to sell out Wembley, what do?
You book the best in the world versus the best bout machine. You book Omega, Punk, and then let them go off on each other and shoot promos with weeks leading up to it. Within reason.
Now let me ask you something, Brett. Do you put Punk versus Omega, or do you put Punk FTR versus Omega and the Bucks?
If you can, I would book the 6-man tag potentially, but it depends if who's willing to work with who.
You guys know that the plan is All In or All Out is still expected to be a week later.
Oh, I did not. So then you probably book one match at Wembley, probably Punk Omega, and then the 6-man tag a week later.
Oh my God! Yes,
Uh-oh.
That's what it is.
AEW, take my money.
Yep. There you go. That's all I got, guys.
So we're gonna get on out of here. Another show in the books. Make sure y'all subscribe to Spotify if y'all have not, because this will be on there. So all the audio versions, make sure y'all follow us on Spotify. We on Amazon Music, so you can say, Alexa, play the Sports Empire Network, and long and behold, all the shows will pop up. Don't forget about the website to see all the lovely articles, www.sportsempire.network.com. And all the good stuff. YouTube, Facebook, make sure y'all come on over, subscribe, see all our lovely faces and all our great shows. We're going to get on out of here for tonight. Another one in the books. Tune back in next Tuesday. We'll go over the draft and if everybody's predictions was right. But for myself, Key, Chase, Brett, Cool, we're going to get on out of here. Appreciate those in the chat. Doug, we already dubbed you part of the show the very first time you came on. So, but we going to get on out of here. Y'all have a good night, y'all.
It's clobbering time.